So we return and begin again. Welcome back. Indie Film Reviews here with you. This is Strebo. And today we are going to discuss one of my favorite comics of all time. Grant Morrison's The Invisibles. There you can see the rather lovely omnibus on my desk. Playing in the background, I've got a YouTube clip that was put up by someone named The Mujan on YouTube, where they took the panels and actually put up several issues as a kind of a photo play. So you can see the panels playing across there to give you a bit of the story. But the reason I want to bring this up is because I have mentioned race bending and gender bending in some of my other videos, and I want to try to discuss it in a more positive light today by talking about three of my favorite characters in The Invisibles. And I'm going to try to talk about what makes them unique, and how just changing them arbitrarily would just make them all kind of lose that power. One character being Papa Getty, who's a black voodooan. Then we have King Mob, who is Scottish, I believe. He's essentially based on Grant Morrison. And then Lord Fanny, who is a trans female. Pre-op, I do believe. But three of my favorite characters. Because one of the biggest gimmicks in storytelling today is to take a long-established character, basically by a company or a creative director that has no further ideas, to take that long-established character and just kind of toss it to somebody with the gimmick of saying, hey, let's make this character black, let's make this character a woman, let's make this character, a trans lesbian, when none of those elements were previously part of that character. Now, again, to reiterate, I'm not against black characters, I'm not against trans characters, I'm not against gay characters. I consider myself an ally. I do my best to keep up with the LGBTQ plus community and all of the pronouns that you want me to use, but hey, people, slow down on that stuff. It is Orwellian, okay? You leave me at times scratching my head, wondering which color hat you're wearing today in reference to one of my earlier videos, and we don't need that, okay? Let's make it easier on your allies, okay? So Lord Fanny is a Brazilian witch, trans lesbian, pre-op, I guess, if you have to say that, but she's trans lesbian. And this is one of my favorite stories with Lord Fanny, written by Grant Morrison. Venus as a Boy, illustrated by Jill Thompson. I think this is Jill's finest work. Such a brilliant story. Here you can just see the metaphor playing out on the screen. So here's Fanny finding some new breasts, looks like. But what makes this unique is Lord Fanny's story. And by the way, can I say how brilliant the triple entendre of the name Lord Fanny is? Because it has meaning here in the States, it has a different meaning across the pond. So, Morrison, when he's firing on all cylinders, is something else. Look at this art. We've got this parallel composition between Fanny realizing her true self, in juxtaposition with the Cristo in Brazil. But this particular story tells, essentially tells her coming of age and her trials and tribulations, the things that she went through, how what she had to endure to, as part of the trial, her initiation as becoming a shaman, as becoming a true witch, and becoming her true self, okay? And it's a great story. But my point being is that this wasn't created by, oops, my light fell. This wasn't created by taking a male, long-term male character that nobody was currently using. I'm sorry for the mess in the background. I've got to set my light up a little bit better next time. Taking a character that nobody was using and saying, hey, let's make it trans today because that's popular. And I've seen this attitude on Twitter. I don't want to call out any creators because we need to get past that as fans. That is part of fandom. FAN space DUMB. We need to get past that. Okay, let's talk about the work. Let's critique the work. But we can critique the stupid corporate decisions that will affect some of our favorite characters. Okay, I've seen creators on Twitter that I had respect for, that I still want to have respect for, but they'll say things like, hey, let's take Jimmy Olsen and make him a black trans whatever, and it's like, really, why? Okay, my point is create something original. I want the trans creators out there to come up with something for me to enjoy. Come up with something like Lord Fanny. I'm here, I'm waiting, I'm an ally, I want to enjoy it. I highly recommend these stories. Okay, that's Fanny's story. Here, King Mob. White Scottish guy. This is definitely Morrison speaking most directly, which is why when I tell my stories, I tell the story of a red-blooded American male. I hate that term cisgender. I don't like to use it. If you want to apply it to me, I'll do my best not to get offended, just in the way that I'll try to use the pronouns that you want me to use. But I'm as red-blooded American male as you get. I love meat. I love to punch other men in the face, and I love to dance with beautiful women. What do you want me to say? I'm secure in my masculinity. Okay? And I'm okay with you folk being secure in yourselves. I want you to be. But the point being is, if we took King Mob and made him a trans man, or suddenly changed his race to Asian, then it changes the whole context of his story. He's not this Scottish guy that got into chaos magic and he was a musician and an author and all these things. And we lose all the texture of the actual character for the sake of a stupid gimmick. For a gimmick that essentially is saying that you as the reader, as the fan, are stupid. That you're so stupid that you'll buy anything that's put out there for you. And I don't understand why the LGBTQ plus community, I'm trying to get it right, why you're not offended by that. Why does it not offend you when they say, oh, well, hey, guess what? Now Iceman is gay. Why does that not offend you, They're literally trying to throw you a bone like you're a dog in the backyard. Oh, hey, look at all these LGBTQ plus people out here. Let's throw them I think I threw an extra letter in there. I apologize. Let's throw them a bone. Here's your bone. Come get it. Be offended by that stuff. Let's find the original stories, okay? And then here, Papa Getty. Black voodooing, taking Cajun voodoo, deep Southern American motifs to create an amazing character. Obviously this is an old. This character is a voodooing character, a spirit actually. What are they called in voodoo? I need to brush up on my voodoo. But anyway, and telling his unique story. So you've kind of got. There are elements in the background where he's dealing with this drug that's affecting people in the inner city here. And in a way, this is, a bit of a allegory for the crack epidemic that plagued the black people in, southern LA during the late 80s and early 90s. The same plague that, if you believe conspiracy theories, was fed and propagated by the CIA, as they set up dealers down there to unleash this plague. Okay, but my point being is that all these characters are unique expressions of what they are. Now, mind you, they're all written by Grant Morrison, who's this white Scottish guy. But he tried to write a unique black character that called upon black myths, voodoo, Cajun motifs. He tried to write a unique trans woman, Brazilian witch story. This is definitely one of my favorite stories, She-Man 3-parter there. That's the origin of Lord Fanny. And he tried to write, you know, his more personal expression. You know, in the past we've had great examples of evolution of characters, such as Jim Rhodes taking over for Tony Stark. Well, that came about as the result of a long storyline of Stark spiraling into alcohol abuse and alcoholism, and essentially losing everything that he had, and Rhodes being his longtime friend, you know, bodyguard, confidant, took over as Iron Man because somebody needed to do it, because Tony had fallen away. But it wasn't just, there wasn't a wand waved overnight and said, yeah, poof, Iron Man, now you're black. Poof, Iron Man, now you're a woman. There was a long evolution to it. So my challenge to you is the same that I give to myself, okay, to my creators out there, whether you're white, black, trans, gay, lesbian, I don't care. It's reach inside yourself, find that original expression, and bring it out. Share it with the world. Educate the world with your unique experience, your unique expression. Rebel against the gimmicks. Throw those bones back in their faces. Tell them you don't want them. You don't want them. And tell them you're insulted. Because you know better. Because you're not an idiot. Because we know better. We know better. And if they don't like it, just remind them what they can do with it. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, share it with your friends, and I'll be back to bring you more discussions of pop culture, be it comics, films, television, what have you. Just keep on creating, guys. Keep creating. Keep creating. I love it. I'm an ally. I want to see more. And don't forget to smile.